name is Elizabeth Zulu. I'm joined by Apostle Chuma, and we bring to you a special program called Mystery Behind Suicide. So we're going to find out more on mysteries behind suicide. What is this suicide? Why are people committing suicide? Apostle, you are welcome.
Thank you so much.
Apostle, we've seen a number of people committing suicide, leaving families, friends so stressed, not knowing why they've done that, leaving children, they are orphans. Can you just tell us what is suicide?
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be in this exciting program, which I feel that it's going to help the general public and also the people that are just watching.
Yes.
I'm so excited. This is a heart-touching program,
Yes.
The Mystery Behind Suicide. Thank you so much. Suicide is actually attempted self-murder,
Attempted.
the act of taking your own life.
Okay.
It means a self-destruction.
Self-destruction.
Self-destruction. It depends also on the level and the degree to which the incidents took place.
Okay.
But in the nutshell, suicide is the act of taking one's life.
One's life. So there are levels in suicide.
Yes, there are different types of suicide.
Okay.
There are different types of suicide.
Okay.
But suicide generally is the attempted self-murder. It's self-immolation,
Okay.
self-destruction.
Okay.
Yes.
So we've seen in Zambia there's a rate has gone high. There is a statistics of over 538 people commit suicide in Zambia every year. How do you see that?
Wow. The statistics show clearly that over 538
Yes.
people committing suicide. It's very sad.
Yes.
It's very sad to hear such numbers.
Such numbers.
Of people killing. We are talking about human beings that have visions.
Yes.
We are talking about human beings that have longevity, life.
Yes.
We are talking about human beings that have families. Others are parents.
Yes.
Others are orphans. Others are widows.
Yes.
And they are different sets of people. And these people are killing themselves. Imagine here is a father of 4 children who have not even yet finished school. But just because of depression,
Yeah.
someone decided to end it all, because that's what suicide means. It means end it all.
Ending it all.
Ending it all.
Giving up in.
Giving up entirely. Self-immolation. Self-destruction from inside.
Okay.
So you see, it's very heart-touching and it's very disturbing.
Very disturbing.
And that's why it's very important that as a body of Christ, we have to look at these numbers. We have to look at what is really happening, what causes suicide.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Apostle, when does a person commit suicide?
Wow.
When do they commit suicide?
There's no specific, descriptions of
Okay.
when does someone take suicide. But then we can see from the actions
Yes.
and from what has been happening. In fact, the person
Yes.
commits suicide the day before they die,
The day before.
or
they
maybe
die.
before they act the suicide they committed outside.
Okay.
Let me put it this way. Someone can commit suicide maybe a month before.
A month before.
What you see is the act of what already took place inside the soul.
So, meaning they've been planning all along.
It's a well-planned arrangement.
Okay.
There's no accident in suicide because they plan.
They plan.
They have to plan. You see people, they are working, they are going for work,
Yes.
they are doing their usual businesses.
Yes. Yes.
They are contemplating on when to die, where to die from,
Okay.
and the exact time with which they have to take their own life.
Oh.
You have to understand that it's not easy to kill yourself.
Okay.
It's not something that is just easy. You've lived for 30 years. You've lived for 35 years.
Yes.
It's not easy just to reach at the ego of saying, today I'm just going to die. Then you just die. But people die before they die. People die before they die.
People die before they die.
Yes.
Meaning they are there walking, what they are planning their death.
If there's a record of 538 people that have committed suicide,
Yes.
we can as well as say there are so many records of people having suicidal thoughts.
Okay.
People can be working, going for work, they are having suicidal thoughts. Others are married.
Yes.
A wife is married in the house. She's thinking on that the only solution is to
death.
kill myself. I'm tired of this situation. And I'm just sick and tired of all this.
So they are looking only for that opportunity, a perfect time just to end it all.
They are looking for a perfect timing. But since they are planning their own death, so they have to know exactly what they are leaving,
Okay.
what they are leaving behind.
Okay. So, Apostle Chuma, we just want to know more. What can be the causes of this suicide? One, just planning all this time, they just plan to take their lives away. What are the causes?
There are so many causes.
Okay.
There are so many causes of suicide. There are so many causes of suicide, and some of it's depression.
Depression.
Some of this is emotional outburst. Depression, emotional outburst, irritative moments.
Okay.
Sometimes what kills people are small issues.
Small issues.
Small issues actually take the lives of people.
Okay.
Because most of the problems that people go through, they always want to focus on the bigger issues.
The bigger issues.
But what matters in the lives of people are small issues.
Small
like
issues.
stress. When
Stress.
someone is stressed enough, they can actually plan their own death.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, there you have it. Please, if you are having thoughts of killing yourself, please do not do that. Apostle, as a man of God, I know people, they've come to you calling you, this person has done this person has done. How is your response to that as a man of God?
Okay, a number of people, of course, some of them, we just meet them in the gathering in the church.
Yes.
And sometimes the Lord will speak that this person wants to commit suicide. I think my take on this to the general public
Yes.
is that people have issues in their soul
Yes.
which nobody else knows, and they hide important issues which are so stressing and they are not coming out. You see, there's no position when it comes to suicide. Suicide does not respect the status of a person. You can be a pastor like me.
Yes.
You can be a man of God like me. We've had people, men of God, committing suicide.
Yes. Very true.
You can be a doctor. You can be maybe politically oriented or affiliated.
Yes.
You are into politics.
Yes.
You are either a minister, even a president.
Yes.
You are maybe an apostle or probably a man of a very high status.
Yes.
But we've seen people taking their own lives. So suicide does not really respect the position of a person.
Okay.
So my appeal is that people who commit suicide, they have what is called mental illness.
Mental illness.
And mental illness is a state of the mind of a person which is not stable probably because of what they are going through.
What they are going through.
It can be in their marriage, it can be in their relationships,
Okay.
probably disappointments. There are people that can take heartbreak.
Okay.
There are people that can't take disappointments. There are people that are able to take disappointments. Then there are certain people who can't take disappointments.
So it means each and every person has a weakness that leads them to suicide.
Not really a weakness,
Okay.
but there are certain mental illness related problems, for example, like depression.
Depression. Okay.
There are people that can't take that. And depression is it's a killer beam. It's a very serious killer beam that is on rampage across the globe. It's something that has to be addressed. If someone is depressed, they have to come out in the open to speak to either counselors. You've got counselors in institutions, maybe in the neighborhood you find counselors, in the hospitals you find counselors, in the church you find counselors. There are so many counselors around that can actually help people that are depressed. But what makes people to commit suicide? They don't come out to seek extra help, because the only way you can be assisted with your mental illness, whether it is disappointment or emotional stress, you need to look for people that are going to counsel you. Yeah.
So, as a church, as a man of God, with this rate that is going high every day, how are you coming up to like help reduce this number of suicide that are going on?
Wow. First of all, the first help that we give is prayer.
Prayer.
We do pray for people because the devil, the enemy, takes advantage of that. But we've understood that it is born in my mind that prayer is not the only key. Meaning there's need to engage in, to reach out to people. Because if we just say we are going to be praying for people, and that's exactly what the role of the church is, to pray for the country, is to pray for the nation, is to pray for the leaders that are in position and all that. But you see, in as much as the church is praying, people are killing themselves.
Yes.
The church is praying today. When you go to the hospital, people are dying. So it's not really just prayer that is going to work, but there is need to flat out, to reach out to the public. And apart from that, we are also appealing to the public to reach out to us. Maybe you can be here, you are watching on this special program. Sometimes maybe you have an issue that is burning inside, and you've reached the top, the flag line. You've said, now I'm going to die. Please, you should like our page and make sure that you get back to us. You actually call us so that we can be of help.
Okay, so like you said that there's some people who cannot come out to speak their problem. And how can you know that this person has got a problem? And how can we reach out as a church? How do you reach out to such people who cannot come out for them, so that these rates cannot go high? Because those people are just there inside, they cannot speak it out. Is there a solution, a way on reaching to those people, so that even when they are there in their private life, they are planning their death, they cannot come out? Are there ways, measures that you think or you can bring out to help those people, even when they have not come out to speak their problem, that when they hear, they'll come back and tell themselves to say, okay, death, I think, is not a solution. Me killing myself is not a solution.
All right. Yeah, there are several ways.
Okay.
For example, suicide deals with the mind and deals with the soul. So the first thing that we are appealing to the general public is this: when you have whether it's a work-oriented problem, whether it's a physical illness in terms of a disease. Okay, there are people, that's why I can give an example on, I can say if someone is diagnosed with HIV. So there is need of sensitization. So you find at the hospital, you will find counselors that have to explain to the person, to understand the predicament they are in, so that they can generally accept that and then be able to take medication. Okay, so that's very good. It's also important to understand that when you discover that you have a stress-oriented problem, whether you are in disappointment, whether you are in depression, the first thing that you have to do, help us by accepting that you have the problem. The Bible talks about the woman with an issue of blood. And you see, that's the only woman who is brought out in the Bible saying she had an issue. But we have several people that had different kind of problems and God healed them. But this woman had an issue. When someone has an issue, it means these are things you don't discuss. It's an issue.
Inside her.
It's inside her. She couldn't talk to anyone. You can imagine she was so stressed to an extent that the only thing she can do is just to touch the helmet. She couldn't talk to anyone to say, I have this issue of blood. how can I access help? But the only thing is, you see, she had to find her way,
strive through,
to pull through so that she can actually touch the help. But we love the miracle, but
Yes.
we are not encouraging people to come out like that. We want people to come out in the open, to tell us what they are facing, the challenges they are facing in their homes. Imagine someone comes before a man of God. You are going through disappointment, but you tell a man of God that you've got a stomach problem.
Yeah.
How does a man of God help you? So the problem is not the church. The problem is not the institutions that are providing help. The problem is us. When you have a situation, accept that you have, this is a problem. Accept it that it has come. Number two, seek for help.
Seek for help.
When you look at the statistics in the Western countries, for example, in the US,
Yes.
you don't find such numbers going up. Why? Because they take time. When someone has issues, sometimes even in marriage, when they have a husband and a wife has failed to handle a marital dispute, what they do as a wife and a husband, they say, let's look for a counselor. So they have to go and pay somewhere for them to be given to what's called counseling services. So they will go out, and then they'll say, the counselor will be there. Where do you think this problem is coming from? When they come back from being counseled, they come back into a happy home. They'll be happy, a healthy relationship with children at home.
Yes.
So for you to see this number, this huge number that is so disappointing, that people killing themselves, it means people are not coming out in the open. So we want the general public to help us.
Okay.
We can end suicide
We can end suicide.
completely.
So finally, what's your advice to someone, because I believe someone right here, right now is watching this program and they are having those thoughts of committing suicide because they feel they can't take it, they feel life has taken the better part of them. What is your advice for that person?
My advice is this. Number one, when you are having a situation like I've said,
Yes.
accept that it happened. If you lost a beloved one, accept that it has happened. If you got divorced, accept that it has happened. The way you came into this world, you didn't come with anybody else. You were born alone.
Yes.
So when you came into this world, you have a role to play. Accept that this has happened.
Okay.
Whether you've passed through disappointment,
Yes.
accept.
Accept.
The first stage is to accept that this is an issue and it has happened. The second stage is, where can I access counseling services? Who can I talk to? Because self-immolation, self-destruction, attempted self-murder is not the solution. It's not the solution. So we are appealing to the general public, please. And as a man of God, I'm saying, please, please, we are appealing to you. It's very heart-touching. It's breaking to see that we are losing our loved ones to suicide. We are losing our loved ones, people that we are supposed to fulfill their visions. So come out in the open, tell us what you're going through, and we will be there. It doesn't matter where you are, where you're watching us from, whether you stay in a place where the airplane has to reach, we'll reach there.
We'll reach there.
We'll reach there. We are able to do anything to save a life.
Saving a life.
Yes, that's why we are here.
Well, it has been a wonderful time having you, Apostle. Thank you so much. I believe that someone right now has been touched by your words, by the advice. Well, viewers, there you have it. Killing yourself, taking your life is not a solution. The big thing is that you just have to accept that it has happened. Accept it and you shall see that it will work for you. And the other thing, pray. Whenever a situation comes to you, pray about it and the Lord will give you peace. Because even when the apostle was saying, he said to say, the woman with the issue of blood, she gave up everything. She was like, she went to doctors, she did everything, but suicide was never a solution for her. She met Jesus. You can also meet God. You can also meet Jesus right there where you are seated. Prayer is number one. It has been Elizabeth on this program. See you next time.